went out to talk with a couple of people on this subject, the Child Not Right saga, and this is what they had to say. This is really interesting, and you really need to take time to watch this. Let's go there.
Well, I mean, it's really, really stupid. I mean, why would you pass a law that allows 13-year-olds to get married? Like, seriously.
Well, I think it's very, very improper for our Senate to pass the bill for children to be married away at a very tender and young age. It's very, very improper, because a bride is someone who has passed through a lot in life, experienced life to a certain extent, and understands how to manage a man and a home. So I think marrying someone at a very tender age, 13 years up, is very, very bad and improper and out of order. And any man who thinks about marrying a young lady of that age is foolish, very, very unwise, I tell you. So it's important that when that bill be reversed and torn down, because it's anti-human and very, very out of order. Anyone who thinks a girl should be married probably out of religion, out of literature, out of whatever, it's very, very out of place. So it's wrong, very, very wrong. I don't support it at all. I condemn it in all totality. So I believe the bill should be overturned, reversed, and removed completely.
I don't think it's right. I believe the girl child has a right to first of all choose who she wants to marry. I doubt a 13-year-old girl would be able to make the right choice at that age. Then also, I think every child should have a right to their childhood, to be able to go through childhood, grow up, become a woman, make decisions, have an education. I believe it goes against the right of every child to force a child into marriage at such a young age. So that's my opinion.
Take the comments of people on this all but very crucial issue. Nigerians are really talking about it, and you can be sure that on Twitter and on Facebook, this issue is very trending. It's very trending and is most talked about. And that's why 247 Nigeria took the initiative to invite this special gentleman to talk to us on this subject. Once again, sir, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Give your hand once again. You know, it can be very intimidating when you have two brave men sitting and you're the only young guy. You know? Okay, first of all, let's start with nation building, because I understand as a journalist that you cannot talk about what you don't know. In Nigeria now, what state are we? So let me start with you, Mr. Ekpedeme.
Well, you said nation building. To be very frank with you, in Nigeria, we are still in the process of building. We are still in the process of building. Still trying to gather information on what will help us grow as a nation. And if you look at where we came from compared to where we are today, you can actually say that we have grown, but we are not there yet. And I believe that with time we'll get there.
Okay, let me take your opinion on that too, Doctor.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a journalist.
Okay. Okay.
But I still have to say that nation building depends majority on the strength of the youth of any country, the working class. And from the last data we have about 80 million that are below 30 as Nigerian population.
Okay, that's very contradicting itself. Exactly. So let's just get to know your opinion on that.
Yes, in that if you are based on when we got our independence, yes, we were in the transit state. Because if you evaluate what we inherited from the colonial master in the 60s, and where we are now, we will say we've achieved some level of development. But can we really say that the level of development we've achieved so far is commensurate with the years we ought to have built if we compare ourselves with the countries who got independence even after us? Be it terms of technologies, be it terms of development, be it of educational standards. South Africa got independence less than almost half of when we got the independence.
Okay.
Already grown up then. And today, infrastructure-wise, you can't compare Nigeria with South Africa. Indonesia, for instance, in the early 60s, they come to Nigeria to import palm fruits. They are saying, Can we compare ourselves to Brazil today? On that note, we have not started.
Okay, from Dr. Ade, we have not started. But let me go to Mr. Bedeme. You are a psychologist, and I know that maybe you can read the minds or you can assess the minds of a better population of people in Nigeria. How do you think, or what do you think the Nigerian man thinks about in a time that causes him to do this kind of stuff that he does?
Well, frankly, to be very honest with you, the greatest challenge we have in Nigeria is the problem of corruption. Now, corruption not just in the government house, but corruption on the streets. You know, we keep talking about the future of tomorrow, the future of tomorrow. My brother, the future has started.
We're late.
And the truth is this: Nigerians are the problem of Nigeria, not the government, because those in government are Nigerians.
Sure.
The people put so much pressure on the leadership, and the leadership have no choice but to continue with corruption to satisfy the people. We put so much pressure on our leaders that they have no choice but to, take money from places just to ensure they satisfy the people. Now, so like I said, the greatest problem we have today is Nigeria. Now, for instance, you wake up in the morning as early as 7:30. You go to the house of a representative, maybe in the House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and you see Nigerians gather in his house. Now, they want money.
Sure.
How much does he go home with every month? Now, I'm not saying they don't go home with much, but the truth is he has to satisfy those people. They put pressure on him and tell him, we sent you to represent us, so you just have to take care of our needs. The pressure is so much, so he has no choice but to take from everywhere and multiply the corruption. And when he does that, he comes back home and we clap for him. A member in the house, maybe he buys cars, he buys things and gives to his supporters, and everybody claps for him and say he has done well. We don't care to ask, where did he get the money from? So the mentality of Nigerians is the problem of Nigeria. We just want to survive. Anyhow, let's just survive. You know this man is not good enough for that seat, but he has the money. Let me get his money and let him just go. After all, when he gets there, he's not going to remember me. So our problem is the way we Nigerians think. And Nigerians are the problem of Nigeria.
Okay, talking from the aspect of a psychologist there, because you're talking about the mindset of Nigerians now. Yes. So from what I can digest from what you just said, Nigerians are the problems of Nigeria.
Yes.
That's it. All right, let's move now to what can be done, because I want us to have more time to talk on the child bride saga. So I am just trying to see how we can talk about the national issues before we can go to that. How do we solve this issue? Because people that watch things happen don't make things happen. So how do we solve this issue? Let me start from Dr. Ade.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have a bit of differ from what he said. I agree that true Nigerians largely dwell on corruption. But he is undermining the problem of Nigerians by saying Nigerians don't like corruption. No. I would say that the Nigerian entity is corrupt. And we're the one corrupting the other people from the world. There are people who have been done investigations on the level of corruption at the zenith, have been convicted. They've been jailed for various level of time, jail terms, for being involved in Nigerian corruption. And none, not even one person involved in Nigeria, has been called for probing. Talk less of reprimanding them or judging them. So corruption is, as I say, it's not just about we are the corrupt entity that need to be purged. We need to purge ourselves first. I'm serious. If we don't deal with ourselves, nothing will happen. He has said it right. That's corruption, fine. But we should look at not as we being corruption, we are the corrupt ones. And if you don't start from you within individual, now what can I do for myself to change my mentality? they want to go fight. I've not even moved a step.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, that's from Dr. Ade. Let's quickly go for a break. When we come back, we'll be settling down to talk on the Child Not Bride saga. So many things have happened, and I think you really want to hear this. Don't go away. Alrighty, welcome back from that break. This is Frontline on 247 TV, and my name is Franklin Obert, and today I'm very excited because I love Nigeria and we're talking nation building. Something we're talking about in particular is the child bride controversy that has trailed so many social media networks and many other things. Newspapers, the online journals, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Google+, all of these things, they have trending topics on this particular issue. So let me move back quickly to my guest. Dr. Ade, you watched the video. So what can you deduce from the video?
It is quite unfortunate.
You know, I like the way you say well.
And it is quite unfortunate that such an issue is coming up on a National Assembly when we have a major stop issue confronting Nigeria as a problem. For that to be coming up means that, personally, I have never had the confidence in the National Assembly before now. But now, it's now more glaring that most of the people that are there are clueless. They don't even know what and what is meant to be done for national building. For instance, we're talking of a child, teenage bride price, teenage marriage, as a doctor.
No, let's not even go to your profession, because I need us to transcend. So I just want to get your opinion on what you can deduce. You said they are clueless.
100%.
All right, let me go to Mr. Ekpedeme now. You watched the video.
Yeah.
No, so what can you say about the Nigeria Senate?
To be very honest, what I saw on that floor is respected men that have the interests of our nation at heart.
I'm enjoying this already.
And you know, people who believe in Nigeria, people who are patriotic and want the best for Nigeria. Now, Senator Yarima, I will say that that man is a very intelligent man. And if everybody wants to hang him on the cross, I will not do that. Why? Because he was simply painting a picture of Nigeria that we don't know. He was simply telling us, this is what is happening in our country that you people don't know. Don't forget, he was quoting a law that has been in existence 1999. Before now, we've not heard anything about it until recent amendment, work started on the Constitution. But he was simply telling us, this is what we have been practicing. He was saying, he didn't say, let's stop it. He didn't say, let's change it. He was simply saying, this is who we are as Nigerians. You know, so that's what I saw from that floor. And though it's unfortunate that what we Nigerians are looking for didn't come up from that, but I think we need to look at it from a different point of view.
Okay, that's what we're meant to do. We're going to be looking at it from a different point of view. That's why we're having two gentlemen that are going to be talking from their wealth of experience in their different professions and not forgetting their own perception of the Nigeria of their future. Now, let's talk to you, Dr. Ade. This thing has been going on. Do you think the senators were discussing this thing in error, or they were on track?
Yeah, it was really said, there's a paper that I read, I think it was 2 days ago, I think they followed the third day, when the big came up, about the doctor, senator representing one of the Southwest, who actually confessed that he voted in error. And he was publicly weeping and crying that the statement was too ambiguous for him. If a senator, a learned person that my brother said are intelligent, who voted in error of something of that importance, he was not that. They didn't put a gun on his head. It's a simple English. And if you want to vote in error, you have to be the arbiter, you need to consult your colleagues. Sorry, okay, don't know what's going on here. So what are we saying? Black and vote. Non-believers are not voting. Whatever you vote counted with you or against you is online. So it's not as if, for you not to know what and what to do. So for him to have clicked yes, by not knowing what he's even clicking for, shows us the pedigree of people at the Senate.
Please, let me now I'd like us to understand what happened.
Okay.
You see, let's go back to the Constitution.
Okay.
Before we blame our senators. Section 29(4)(a) says that anyone of full age can renounce his citizenship.
Yes.
And 4A, that's section 29(1) says you can renounce. And 4A says full age is from the age of 18 and above. Yeah. And 4B, which is the problem we have now, says that every woman who is married must be deemed to be an adult. Yeah, okay. Now you have their own law. He quoted the law that says that a young lady can marry. And please let's not get this wrong. They've been practicing this law. The Constitution gives them backing. They've been practicing, and no Muslim have come out to say that we don't like this. When he was the governor of Zamfara State, there was a time when the criminal is caught, they chop off the hand, they chop off the head, and everybody was making noise in Nigeria. And the man came up and said, our law says we can do this, and we all kept quiet. Not long after that, he contested to be a senator, and he was voted, and he is now a senator. Now, he was simply saying, we have a law, and our law says this is what we should do. I think what we should be looking at now is, how do we help the Nigerian girl child? Because the law, the Constitution has tied the hands of our senators.
That's right.
Now, if you look at the second article of the Constitution, Part 1, Item 61, it prohibits the National Assembly from legislating on issues that have to do with Islamic law and customary law. The senators would have loved to remove that clause, but the same Constitution has tied their hands. Who do we blame? So my problem now is Nigerians, we always solve the problem from the wrong place. That has always been our problem. We look at the problem, we don't think, let's start from the scratch. We try to cut off the head, waiting for the man to die. The man refuses.
No.
Okay, let's see what you have to say.
Yes, in the sense that that constitution has been silent for a very long time, unprovoked. Until somebody who knows what that section of constitution stands for, and thinks he has been fully justified by what he has been doing against the background of public opera in Nigeria, of which the new senator you mentioned, I don't like mentioning names. When Canada married somebody at 13 years old, nowhere,
don't forget, the law permits him to do that.
Looking for a way to justify his actions, or non-legitimate popularizing of other people, other senators who cannot come open to do the same. We need the same plan to say, okay, fine, please, non-person has said this, we are justified. Not only that, no matter what happens, Nigeria is still a secular state. Nigeria is not a Christian country. It's not a Muslim country. It's a secular. And that should be the overriding public interest of Nigeria as an economy, as a nation. Because we know a lot of controversies.
Right, what they are doing, but our constitution says allow them to do what they want. Now, you said Nigeria is a secular nation. We have Muslims, we have Christians. You see, this is where I would like us to look at nation building. The Muslims have succeeded in having Islamic law to guide the oppression of Muslims in Nigeria. What are the Christians doing? That's the question we need to ask. They have something that is guiding the oppression. I think Christians should wake up. Let's have certain rules that will guide the operations of Christians. So we don't say, because they are free to do whatever they want to do. They have agreed to do that. The Constitution gives the freedom of religion gives them the backing to do whatever they want to do. I think CAN should wake up, PFN should wake up, and agree. What do we want? How do we want Christians to live? What do we want to be the lifestyle of Christians? And let there be a place in the Constitution that regulates the lifestyle of Christians. That will help us, because the way it is, the Muslims, they have the upper hand because they have a law. Every Muslim respects that law, but we don't have. And that's where the problem is, because coming back to the issue of marriage, as Christians, we don't, it's not proper for a girl to get married before the age of 18. But their religion permits it. If our religion doesn't permit it, then let's find a way to fix it in the Constitution. Let it be that we Christians don't believe in this thing. And look for a way to help a Muslim who does not believe in their religion, but because her hands are tied, she's a Muslim. Any Muslim who wants to come out and say, okay, I don't like what we are practicing, I want something better. And you can't run to a place where there is no solution. If there is a law, if there is something in the Constitution that places a benchmark on the age of marriage for Christians, a Muslim girl can decide to renounce her religion, come over to this other side and say, because of this thing that they have, let me stay here.
Is it that easy for a Muslim to renounce his religion?
Well, it's not difficult. It's a matter of choice. Yes, I have heard of Muslims becoming Christians. I have friends who are Muslims who have become Christians. You know, so it's not difficult. It's choice. And also depends on the kind of information you are exposed to. Because those information will determine the decision you will make. So it's not difficult for a Muslim to become a Christian.
Okay, let me ask Dr. Adena, do you think that that particular argument had to do with marriage? That's the reason it's raising so much dust?
I've said yes, actually. And because it involves the most vulnerable of the society.
That's right.
I agree with you.
Children, yes. We all know, even in the North today, as we are talking, girls' child education is next to nothing. Because they believe that after all, you might out to your husband. Let me ask one question. All these people that are acquiring children as wives in the northern part of the country, how many of them can raise their hands that they've given out their daughter in marriage less than that age?
You want to respond to that?
Yes.
Doesn't happen.
You see,
you can't see the big boy in society who love children and give out her own daughter, his own daughter, sorry, or her own daughter to marriage less than that age.
You see, like I said, that's the problem.
People
That's the problem
that are involved now, they are those people in whose parents don't even know. They don't know that. They say, okay, this man is rich, we know. When we give our daughter to them now, our own poverty has gone forever. Please go. It's against our people because of the level of properties and the acceptability of the society. Say, okay, fine. Yeah, okay, fine. We know, okay, fine. If you are in-law to senator, definitely, I will be ending the poverty. At the expense of the innocent child in whose the conscience was not even sorted for, who is not mature reproductively enough to withstand the stress of marriage, of childbearing, and other complications that I cannot even mention now. But if time permits, we will mention that.
All right, you wanted to say something?
Yes, like I said, that's the problem of Nigeria. We don't solve problems from the root. You see, the problem of Nigeria is that our leaders don't pay attention to, let me use the word teenagers, from 0 to 18. Now, there was a time in our nation that the men were in power, just the men. Even in the church, no woman speaks, just the men.
Sure.
And it was okay. At a point, the women reacted, no, we can speak as well. So Nigeria wanted to solve that problem. And they decided to give the women power. And I don't mean to sound sycophantic, but see, like what our governor here is doing. the Child Rights Act. Of all the projects His Excellency has done, this is one project that I will forever praise him. I work with young people. I listened to their plight. And the governor came and said, no, let's help these young people. Brought them out from the villages, gave them a place to stay. They are going to school free. Clothes, everything is good for them free. Food, free. I work there, so I'm not saying what I don't know. I see these things. Now, he is trying to solve the problem of Nigeria from the roots, which is what the leadership at the federal level should be doing. How do we help the Nigerian child? How do we rescue the Nigerian child from the laws of Nigeria? Because the Constitution has put the Nigerian child in bondage. And so we should be asking, what do we do to rescue the Nigerian child? And if you ask me, I will say, let's amend the second schedule, part 1, item 61 of the Constitution, that stops the National Assembly from doing. Because if the National Assembly is given the power by the Constitution to amend laws of Islam and the custom, then they would have done the right thing. Like I said when we started, these are men that have initiative to do the right thing, but the Constitution has tied their hands. But if we can amend that part of the Constitution, that will give them the liberty to change some of those things, I believe that some of the laws that Islam is living with can be adjusted to take care of the Nigerian child. Because it's not happening in our part of the world. Sure. This child marriage is happening over there. We are not saying let's just take care of ourselves, let's take care of Nigerians. So whatever we are doing should help every Nigerian child. That's why I still insist. Let's do something about that part of the Constitution so that the National Assembly can break the wings of religion and do the right thing. So if we pay attention to the Nigerian child, not just giving them free education, not just giving them shelter, but paying attention to the emotional need of the Nigerian child, because that's the young boy that will grow up to become the youth. If he has the right perspective to life, he will not grow, become a youth and run around men to look for help. While he's growing up, he's able to learn so much that he can grow as a man, grow having the things he needs to survive, that he won't have to depend on anybody. Okay. So our problem is pay attention to the young people.
All right, Dr. Ade, you are a medical practitioner. Now, what happens when a young child, people say girls are underdeveloped, maybe at 12 and 13. What happens inside of them, inside their physiognomy, when they get married at that tender age?
Thank you very much. That is why I will say it again, it's very sad bringing up this topic at the time. Because when you truly understand what is going on, what goes on with a baby, I will call them babies. When you have a case of a child, taking care of a child, you understand the weight of the gravity. I'm not proving that I'm showing some pictorial demonstration of what it looks like. When you see it, it looks like a horror film to you. What goes on there? A child in Africa, the female child develop less rapid than a Caucasian, the white. The white girls develop faster. Maybe because of their genes and genomes and their constitutions. Now, averagely, an African girl's child starts developing breast, or what we call secondary sexual characteristics, between 9 years to 12 years.
Okay.
That's when the changes start developing from a girl and a boy. A girl and a boy, between the age of 0, 1 to 9 years, look exactly the same. You know, when you dress a axillary ear and a pubic ear, so as there's seen some external features changes, there are also changes going on within them,
inside of them,
preparing them for womanhood. At 13,
you're not ready.
They are still at, I will call it, pre-pubertal state. There is undergoing puberty in progress. some of the organs are still rudimentary. I'm sorry, I'm using that terms.
Mm-hmm.
Rudimentary means something still at the bud, something just shooting up, preparing to grow. You know, when the womb is not yet grown, the ovary, the eggs, they are still there. You know, the mother is not there compared to the testosterone, because when you look at this, the dimension, even the body weight, the sizes, and the outlet, the private part, it is still not well developed for childbearing.
Okay.
They are still rudimentary, but they are in the process of developing to adulthood. And until even sometimes, until when they started menstruating, you know, and when they start menstruating, it doesn't even mean the child can get pregnant. It means that the maturation has gotten to that stage. And that's what we call an ovulatory menstruation. So it means the egg is not yet developed,
Okay.
but the menstrual cycle has begun. You know, and that means that at that phase, sometimes when they start their menses, they don't see within 2-3 months again. And then it comes again.
Okay.
Because it's to what is going to be in the nearest future. Nature is now big at this stage of being forced into a man's home. Apart from the psychology, physical insult, the physical injury for this child. We all know that, if I'm sorry to use the word, the phallus compared to a child's vagina, they are highly incompatible. Their bone, the pelvic bone is not yet developed. It's not just about the skin, everything. It's everything about them. The bone, called the pelvic bone, has to be fully developed, because the female pelvic bone is different from the man's own.
So that means the pelvic.
There is a dimension, a standard dimension for a reproductive woman, an adult, who has come of age. But because by nature their height, you know, is shorter than what we deem as the height of a full adult, they do have problem.
Okay.
Why delivery?
Okay.
Because of their short statures. So that's why we look for, as a doctor, when they come for antenatal everything, we measure their height, everything. It's not just saying that height measurement is for a reason. You know?
Okay.
So when a child who had the period of growing taller and developed a full pelvic maturation was handpicked in the middle of the process, forced into a home to start having babies. Definitely from the coitus, the bleeding that preceded, the injury to the some of the heart laceration, vaginal laceration, trauma, from the entrance to the womb to the cervix. Now we pick so many things like that. I have to repair.
Okay.
You know, under local or general anesthesia.
All right.
And then when they become pregnant, the womb is still rudimentary. Because abortion, you know that.
All right.
And there are some when they carry the baby because the cervix is not strong enough to allow the baby born out, usually constricted, to expand and then force the baby out.
Okay, doctor.
So those are the traumas.
Okay.
And after delivery, the problem is not even ending to that stage. After delivery, complication of bleeding without stopping.
Okay.
Bleeding to death.
Okay.
And what we call vesico-vaginal fistula.
Wow.
The baby started urinating uncontrollable because certain structures have been permanently destroyed.
All right.
And can only be corrected by surgical intervention.
Okay.
Which is not even a permanent solution anyway, because the baby won't catch the baby again after that, which can cause a recurrence.
All right.
So there are a lot of complications, please. Now I say this topic should not even be discussed. It's silent.
Okay, let's just take your last word. Let's start from you, Mr. Bedeman. Your last word on the issue.
Well, it's pathetic from what Doctor has said, but I would like Nigerians to, or our House of Assembly, the National Assembly, to see if it's possible for them to amend that second schedule, so that they will have the liberty to control what religion does to their people, because that's just the major thing. The girl child's right needs to be preserved. Okay. So the National Assembly should do something about item 61, second schedule.
You, Dr. Lee?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right, sir.
And I will say one thing. Whoever is there representing us, Nigeria should start making human laws. There are some laws that are governing us that are not human.
Oh no.
Please.
Oh, doctor, if you want to go to where you're going, we'll stay here.
I know, please. Let our senators and everybody who is in charge of constitution start beginning to make
human laws. Okay, that has been it on our interview session with two gentlemen who have done justice, if you agree with me, to this subject. Mr. Bedeme, thank you very much. Dr. Ade, thank you. It was my pleasure handling this session. My name is Franklin Obot, and I'd like to step out now for the paper review segment with Courage and Jennifer. It's 247 Nigeria TV Frontlines. Don't go anywhere.